Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor with Internal Revenue Service. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's the home of the 5-minute or less video. I want to thank the 3,500 subscribers that already subscribed to hear the truth about things you need to know. I worked at IRS for over a decade. I've worked over 10,000 cases. I have a whole team of former IRS agents on my staff. You can check out my website, and we only take cases or we can bring value to people. I started this website for 3 reasons, so you don't get ripped off. I watched YouTube and watch a bunch of people tell you things that really weren't true because they don't know what they're talking about, and or they're lying to you. And second, to give you education. And 3, you can hear from a former IRS insider to tell you what works and really what and what doesn't work. I want to talk to you today about, by the way, you can find my information in the description section if you need to retain us. I want to talk to you about how to negotiate your tax debt down. You hear a lot of this terminology, let me negotiate my tax debt down. You don't really do that. That's one of the myths and the lies about there. It's an advertising gimmick. Negotiate your tax debt down. Let me tell you what that process is so you know. There's 3 ways to close cases when the Internal Revenue Service has you in their enforcement arm. The first is they take your financial statement and they close it by currently non-collectible. Number 2, they close it by payment agreement. Or third, they close it through the offer and compromise or the tax debt settlement program. Only 3 ways IRS goes ahead and gets through a working debt where the statute hasn't expired. Okay? So once again, currently non-collectible, you don't have the money to pay the tax. Part pay agreement, you want to pay it, you want to take care of it. Or third, you can so-called negotiate your debt down. That's really, let me explain this negotiation process. It really isn't a negotiation. If you qualify for the offer and compromise program, at that point in time, you can send your offer in, and then IRS will determine whether they want to accept your offer and compromise your offer or not. If you want to call that a negotiation, I guess you could, but you really don't negotiate. IRS tells you what they're going to go ahead and do, so it's really not a negotiation. So anyway, let me tell you a little about the offer program. So IRS is a very specific, very targeted program called the Offer and Compromise. The Offer and Compromise program is such that it goes ahead, and what it does, it goes ahead and it tells you very specific that you can go ahead and settle your debt for pennies on a dollar if in fact you qualify. You fill out an IRS financial statement of 433A OIC or a 656, which puts your offer together, and then IRS determines whether they're going to accept it. Do not file an offer and compromise unless you know the program, unless you've talked to somebody and you know what the hell is going on. If not, you've extended the statute for a year, you've given IRS an open book into your financial records, and you do not want to go ahead and do that. So at the end of the day, what you want to do is let someone look at your current financial statement. For me, I like to look at the 433A. That's the one that revenue officers use. I will tell you within 15 seconds if you qualify for the Offer and Compromise program to so-called negotiate your debt down. With that, I look at exactly what IRS is going to look at, and I will tell you whether you qualify for or not. Do not give anybody any money until they look at your current financial statement and tell you whether settle or negotiate your debt down. So the negotiation, so-called negotiation, is understanding the IRS program of offer and compromise, submitting it, and have it accepted for the lowest dollar. 2 things about the offer and compromise program you must know. You must offer IRS your total liquidity. If you have $100,000 in liquidity, your home is discounted by 20%. You must give IRS that $100,000. They're not going to settle for any less than the assets you have. Don't bother. Don't let anybody talk you into it. I used to accept offers and deny offers for the government. They're not going to do that, and they're going to dictate how much money you can spend a month on your expenses. That's called the IRS National Standards Program. You can look them up yourself. In your toolbar, go to IRS National Standards for food and clothing, housing and utilities, car payment, and operation costs. They will tell you what you can spend. Once again, if you're going to want to submit an offer and compromise to negotiate your debt, even though you don't negotiate, when you go ahead and get that at that point in time, they will tell you exactly what they will settle for. If you know the system and you go to somebody competent and you have a chance for an offer, go ahead and take it. But you must understand specifically if you qualify. 80% of the people don't qualify that call me. Don't throw your money away. Let someone look at it first. Thank you.